Hi guys, I have another Copic coloring and card tutorial for you today. Today we are going to color Miss Lily in the Garden by Little Blue Button Stamps. She's adorable and I'm feeling very inspired, so we're gonna play with a lot of things when it's come to making the card. But let's start coloring. Now she's all cut out and we're gonna start making a card. We're gonna be a little bit messy. So first we're gonna remove the cutting board and then we're gonna start being messy. We're gonna use this doily and we are going to use some flowers. And I actually wanna do some accents on these flowers and doilies. First of all, I'm cutting off the green stems. Now, I wouldn't recommend using one of these scissors to do it because it's metal in it and you will destroy your scissors, but this is the scissor I'm using just for this, so I can do that. I usually cut off more flowers than I need so that I get them in the colors I want. This is the flowers we're gonna use. I have cut them all off from their stems and we're gonna play a little bit. First of all, we are going to color this because I don't want it white. We are going to use these papers, which are from the Secret Garden pack from Graphic 45. So I'm trying to match those colors as much as possible. Start by using Tattered Rose, and we're just gonna color it all with the Tattered Rose. Tattered Rose is a very, very light color. So like that, and then we're gonna put that aside to dry. You can also use like your heat tool or something, but I'm putting it aside. And then we are going to kind of these flowers are a little bit too bright. We're gonna add a little tinsy tiny little wash of some darker color. I'm gonna use some aged mahogany, and then I'm gonna use a whole bunch of water to that. Take a little brush, and then we're just gonna kind of just color the edges a little bit darker, just to get some color on those paper flowers, like that. Now this hasn't dried completely yet, but I'm actually gonna do some staining on it too, because I want it to have some flicks of color. So again, start off with some of the aged mahogany, add water because you need water to be able, and then you just flick some color onto your, and I would recommend probably using something behind it because my table is getting all colory, and then just more flicks like that. And that's our coloring part of the video. With the flowers and paper drying, I'm gonna take and start cutting things out and getting ready to finish the card off. We are going to make a card that is 5.5 by 5.5, so it's a square card. Usually don't do square cards, but again, something I found that was pretty fun to do, just playing around. The cards that I played around with are on my blog, so if you want to see them, you can go there. Then I'm just gonna make this as a card base, so we have something to play with. And we are doing it at 5.5. And that is the base of the card. Then we're gonna do some matting and layering. Start off with a base layer. This is actually Tim Holt's Distress collection, an old one, but I really like the color. It matches the paper, and it's, again, we are going to have very thin, beautiful layers on top. So start by doing this at 5 3/8 by 5 3/8. Then we're taking our pattern paper, we're cutting that down to 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. So we have the base layer like that. Also going to use these 2 cards. We're actually not going to layer them, we're just going to use them on top of that together with the doily. That is almost dry actually. But we also are going to do a sentiment. So we're going to start by actually stamping the sentiment and then cutting it out. I haven't really measured anything today. We are using the Thinking of You. It's from the Thinking of You stamp set. And gonna use some VersaFine black. And then we are adding this. Let's see, so I can get it sort of straight. It is not a straight sentiment, but sort of straight. Like that. Sorry for being all out of frame, but I put it on the bottom of the paper. And then we are gonna cut it down to be as thin as possible. It ends up being 1 3/8, and it's going to be, yeah, get it 5 1/4, so it matches the background paper. We're gonna let it go by all of this, and now it's time to put the card together, the fun part. Start by layering this. Like this. Then we are going to do a little bit of adding up and down things. Actually gonna let it hang out a little bit over the edge. So we're gonna add the card right there. And to not have too much bulk, I'm actually not gonna use dimensionals. I'm just gonna use ordinary tape for this. We're adding it up here. Then we're gonna add our doily. And again, this time I actually just used adding the glue on the kind of middle part of the doily so that the lace part isn't stuck down. Just the middle. Just put it a bit to the edge like this so I can get that note sticking up. Then we're gonna have this Scotch Roses card. I'm gonna add that there. Also a bit over. I'm gonna do this with the Thinking of You. Add that down here. We're gonna add her on some dimensionals. Let's see. I actually thought about having her here, and I think it actually fits perfectly there. And then we're gonna have a little floral group in this corner. So we're gonna start by putting some dimensionals on her. So we're putting her right here. That, and before we do anything else, I'm gonna add this to the card base because the flowers are gonna be put there with wet adhesive, and that takes a little time to dry, and it's easier than just to add this on like this. Like that. I'm going to use some studio matte to put my flowers on. You can use either this or glossy accents or any kind of those. And that was my card for today. I hope you liked it. If you do, please thumbs it up. It means a lot to me. If you have any questions, just comment down below, and I'll see you later.